How's it going, everybody? My name is Villanoz from the PPC Cave. It's a solo episode today, but Ryan will be back next time. Today, we're talking about PMAX and Reddit questions. So I'll answer a couple PMAX Reddit questions and we can get to it, and it'll be super short, but hopefully these Reddit episodes are a little bit less formal and just informative. I know sometimes when we get stuck on one topic, it's kind of hard for us to be relatable, but hopefully these Reddit question videos are a little bit more relatable. So hop over to YouTube or Spotify video, just because I will be sharing my screen here, and it'll just be easier for you to look at the questions there. First question, and it's entitled, My Experience with PMAX. Typically, with PMAX, you might see results like 1,000 leads, 5 actually qualified and converted, and 150 in spend. With each conversion around $1,000. I don't mind using PMAX, but I genuinely believe it tends to cannibalize search campaigns, and it's a love-hate relationship. I don't know what type of question that is, but I don't know if this is the OP. I think it is the OP. The original poster. So people in the comments were saying that's basically 5 qualified leads for people that actually know your company or searching your company already. Someone also said you could add negative keywords to Performance Max campaigns. So my take on Performance Max lead gen, I would suggest primarily using lead gen just search, not Performance Max. If you're beginning to use PMAX and lead gen together, I would put it at a very small budget, because it's going to essentially do what the commenter or the comment said, where you're going to get people that already know your business or organization searching, and it's just picking up the crumbs from remarketing, which isn't all bad. But I do suggest having a smaller budget, maybe even just 5% of your monthly budget on Performance Max if you're doing lead gen. Now, if you're doing e-commerce, Performance Max, obviously I have some e-commerce clients that just only do Performance Max, so that's a different story. But we're talking about lead generation this time, and you will receive a lot of spammy, more irrelevant leads, but you could check with the client and see, hey, are you getting leads that are people just getting or giving you emails, or getting your email for a job listing or a posting or careers? So then you could block that out with negative keywords. But I think you're kind of losing a component if you're not e-commerce, because lead gen does really well on shopping. Of course, it does everything: shopping, search, discovery, YouTube, display, all of that. But I do primarily think it is for e-commerce only. I know it's getting better as we receive more insights and we see more search terms that are filing in. We could see more of the search-based Performance Max campaigns starting to maybe cater lead gen in the future. But I think that's where, if you listen to our last episode last week, I think that's where Search Max will kind of fill in the gaps. So you don't have to use Performance Max. You could just use Search Max or AI Max. I forgot the name, but the experience with Performance Max with lead gen, personally, what I would do is run multiple search campaigns for a lead gen client, then have a very teeny budget just for Performance Max to pick up the crumbs. And I usually create an audience for all users on GA4, so it's targeting leads that are warm already, and then it just gets them to that retargeting on the display network or YouTube or wherever it may be. So I do believe the experience for a lot of people that are doing lead generation for Performance Max, it kind of is similar across the board. If you have any, experiences that is a positive one and you're doing lead gen and Performance Max, I'm very curious. Either email us on the ppccave@gmail.com or just leave a comment. I'm curious to see how people are using Performance Max, if it's for specifically just a lead generation client. So that's the first question. And we'll go to the next question here. This one is Performance Max related also, because this is a Reddit Performance Max episode. PMax feed only or standard shopping campaign? It reads, I currently have a standard shopping campaign running with my 50 best sellers, which has generated 68 conversions over the last 30 days. It's been struggling to reach the target return on ad spend. I was wondering about Performance Max in feed only mode in 2025. Is it recommended to switch to PMax feed only to increase conversions? Ooh, if you have a successful search campaign, or sorry, shopping campaign, should you change it over to just feed only Performance Max, which is essentially going to be a smart shopping campaign? So that's how I would phrase this question: smart shopping or standard shopping, even though obviously smart shopping is obsolete now, but I would consider feed only PMax kind of like smart shopping, where you don't have much control over the search terms that are filing in. And, I think control is really the name of the game at this point, especially with all that's being done with AI generated, or the Power Pack, as Google Ads calls them during the Google Marketing Live in 2025. I think it's a gem to have 68 conversions over the last 30 days. That's basically more than 2 conversions each day. There is smoke, or there is fire when there's smoke, and I think you have something there. You just have to kind of tweak it. It's struggling to reach the return on ad spend. That could mean a lot of things. Maybe your return on ad spend is a little too high, or maybe you didn't even give enough time to see how long it's been struggling to reach the return on ad spend. Has it been struggling for 7 days, 14 days, 60 days, 120 days? Obviously, the longer it is where you observe that it's not reaching the return on ad spend, the better it's going to be, because that's a longer, more accurate parameter of information and data. But I think it's important to ask these questions. Have you been keeping up with negative keywords? What are some negative keywords that have low return on ad spend? Would it be better to do that instead of touching the return on ad spend, and just maybe make those low conversion value over cost search terms on your manual standard shopping campaign negative, and then see if that reacts within the campaign, if that increases the return on ad spend? I think it's super valuable to have that level of control, of that transparency of seeing specific search keywords that file in, especially for something that has historical data. And I'm sure you've ran this the standard shopping campaign for a while, just because you're getting the amount of conversions, the volume of conversions that you're actually receiving. So I think it's just super important to kind of pump the brakes when it comes to something maybe more manual, switching it over to a PMax or even automated bid strategy, even though you are using return on ad spend. But yeah, I would be very careful. Maybe make an experiment, and it doesn't have to be an actual experiment. What I would do in this case, I know you might get cannibalization. I would just hold off and see. And maybe wait 1 or 2 months and see if that return on ad spend can't increase or can be optimized by doing negative keywords, or maybe just being a little bit more tedious with Google Merchant Center optimizations. I think that's one thing that we don't do enough of. If you're either using Performance Max or just standard Google Shopping, us doing or getting into Google Merchant Center itself and updating the title, updating the item description, making sure the product categories are legitimate, making sure the photos are there. Sometimes you have to just kind of spruce up the photos, or maybe even get into Google Merchant Center and run a free shipping campaign so that you get a little bit of a strikeout or a little promo on Google Merchant Center, so that you pop whenever you show up on product listing ads on Google Shopping. I think those are important things to really test and turn over every rock that you can before switching over and just blowing everything up and going through and doing a feed only PMax campaign. Just because, despite of us getting more transparency with search terms and audiences, and other insights on PMax, it doesn't beat or doesn't match the insights that we get, whenever we're using regular standard shopping. So that's my 2 cents on that. And I think it's just very, rare to have something that's working like a manual shopping campaign. I think you could do a lot of stuff. You could maybe pull out, some of the best sellers. You're saying that you have 50 products. Maybe it's time for you to create different product groups on shopping and just have the top 10 sellers in one product category or product listing group or ad group, and then do the others that are just kind of lagging behind when it comes to conversions, to kind of pull that out and test that way. So I think there's a lot of stuff that you can do before switching over from a standard shopping campaign directly to a PMax feed only campaign. All right. So those are 2 questions that we went over for today's short episode. Sometimes me and Ryan could go close to an hour. So I think it is refreshing for us to get something under 15 minutes. I know our editor, Joel, appreciates that too. And yeah, so if there's any questions, make sure to email us at thepPCCave@gmail.com, or you could just comment and we'll get to your question. We do like to see comments just because we're like, is this mic on? Are we talking to anyone out there? Are we making these videos and it, is falling upon deaf ears? If it's not, let us know. Give us a like or a comment or subscribe, and we really do appreciate y'all for that. And also, if you want to try Riverside FM, we do have a link below in the video description that gives you a free trial, and we get help whenever you click that. We'll get a little kickback. So that's awesome on your part to support us. That would be really cool. And also, if you have anyone or yourself, if you want to sign with us, either me or Ryan, we're doing $100 referrals for new clients. So no questions asked. You refer us and then they sign up for at least 1 month with us, Google Ads or PPC management. You can get $100 referral. So that's easy money for you. So refer us if you have any friends or family members that want to drive quality traffic to their websites. But yeah, I think this is pretty short and sweet. Straight to the point, no fluff. Again, we release every Monday, 12 a.m. Mountain Time on Spotify Video, regular Spotify, and YouTube. And if there's nothing else, bye for now.